Alright, I just want to know whose idea it was to put a documentary on Gypsy Rose on Disney Plus. What? What? I mean, I could see Hulu, I could see Amazon Prime, but Disney? A girl that murdered her mom, and you're gonna do a whole documentary on her life after getting out of fucking prison on Disney Plus? For the children? That's crazy.
But when Disney also updated their policies to ensure when guests were caught lying about having a disability were treated as an abuse of the Disability Access Service Program and permanently banned from Walt Disney World and Disneyland Resort. People celebrated this decision. Last November, when Gypsy Rose Blanchard bragged about having the time of her life at Disney Florida without her wheelchair, we pushed back. We were outraged because Gypsy Rose is infamous for feigning disability and mistruthing about her age to gain the benefits that Disneyland offers to special needs.
Gypsy Rose Blanchard is once again at the center of controversy, and this time, people aren't just talking about her story. They're questioning the media's role in turning her into a celebrity. Disney Plus has now picked up her reality show Life After Lockup, and let's just say it's not sitting well with a lot of people. Many outraged, asking how someone who has continuously manipulated situations for personal gain keeps getting rewarded with attention, deals, and now a Disney Plus streaming opportunity. Meanwhile, the man she dragged into her crime, Nick Deon, is still sitting in prison, silenced and forgotten. So today we are diving deep. We're not just talking about Gypsy's past grifting, but the sheer imbalance of how the media is handling her story versus Nick's. Why is Gypsy being hailed while Nick, a man with autism who was manipulated into committing the crime, is left to rot? Let's break it down. Gypsy's history with Disney isn't exactly squeaky clean. In the past, she and her mother, Didi Blanchard, managed to lie their way into multiple free trips to Disney World under the guise of charity. She wasn't sick, she wasn't a child in need, and yet, she and Didi took advantage of the system to gain sympathy parks meant for genuinely ill children. They enjoyed VIP treatment, skipping lines, receiving special accommodations, and getting access to exclusive events, benefits meant for children with severe medical conditions.
It is the perfect town, the perfect place.
I think it was a blessing in disguise. It took something like a hurricane to make us have a happy ending.
And it's happy, and it's full of love.
That alone left a bad taste in people's mouths, especially for families with actual sick children who would have given anything for those experiences. Imagine being a parent of a terminally ill child, struggling to afford a dream trip to Disney, only to find out that someone who faked their way through was receiving everything for free. It felt like a betrayal, not just by Gypsy and her mother, but also by the system that allowed it to happen. In response, Disney eventually updated its policies, making it clear that anyone caught lying about disabilities to abuse their access programs would be permanently banned. This change was meant to ensure that no one else could exploit the system the way Gypsy and Didi had.
She also told staff on her last visit of March 2015 that she was a Make-A-Wish star and that it was her birthday to ensure she received VIP treatment. This is usually reserved for celebrities, people living with permanent disabilities, and life-threatening illnesses. Outraged because we understood that Disney introduced the DAS ban specifically in response to Gypsy Rose and Didi's actions. Unfortunately, during our protests, I was unable to find a shred of evidence that Gypsy Rose has been served a DAS lifetime ban. This woman has demonstrated.
It was supposed to be a firm stance, one that reassured families that only those truly in need would benefit. Yet, despite this policy, Gypsy waltzed back into Disney World last year with no consequences, even bragging about how much fun she had. There was no acknowledgement of the past, no remorse for having taken advantage of a system designed to help disabled children. Instead, she flaunted her trip as if she had never been the reason for those policy changes in the first place.
Anyway, people are saying she's permanently banned from Disney World. Well, currently, I'm at Disney World, and I have asked several cast members, because the people on TikTok said, well, several cast members have posted that she's permanently banned from Disney World.
So when Disney Plus announced that they were streaming her show, many felt like it was the ultimate slap in the face. They had once distanced themselves from her actions, yet now they were willing to profit off her name. And more importantly, why does she keep getting away with it? While Gypsy has had endless opportunities to tell her story, Nick Deon has had none. In a rare interview, he revealed just how sidelined he feels, watching Gypsy continue to receive attention while his own voice is drawn out. He described the overwhelming frustration of seeing her shape the narrative, portraying herself as a victim while his own experiences, struggles, and perspectives were completely ignored.
The reason I've agreed to do this interview was because when I noticed that my ex-co-defendant, Gypsy Blanchard, got a lot of attention, as she did, and she just kept on getting more and more attention. I felt that it's been tipped in one side of a scale to where I really wasn't getting much coverage. I wasn't being able to actually be able to voice my opinion. I wasn't able to let everyone know what I truly feel. I just know that she knows. She knows that I've taken the responsibility for mine already. I still have feelings for her. Of course, I will always have feelings for her. But every human being needs to grow and learn from their mistakes. And I feel that's where me and her both are right now. We're learning from this mistake that we've both made. I mean, the way she was raised, no woman should ever, no child for that matter, should ever have to be raised that way. I did feel that she was not taking responsibility for her actions, but at the same time, due to the way I know she was raised, I can't blame her. I can't. That, and along with my religion, with being a Christian, I know I'm not supposed to judge, so I'm not going to judge. It's just not part of who I am. I just won't do it.
Nick has never denied his actions. He's taken responsibility for what he did. But he also believes that his autism and the way Gypsy manipulated him should have been a factor in his sentencing. And honestly, he's not wrong. Throughout their relationship, Gypsy consistently framed herself as helpless, someone who needed saving, convincing Nick that he was her only hope. His condition made him particularly vulnerable to her influence, and rather than recognize this, the justice system treated him as if he had full capacity to discern right from wrong.
Masterminded it, got 10 years, and she took advantage of him who is of diminished capacity, and he's doing life. That would be an example. Or I saw something online where it is clear that Gypsy said that she manipulated Nick. You cannot speculate. Please do not speculate. Do not bash Gypsy. Do not make his letter that. Make his letter about why you feel he should be granted clemency, because that's the only thing that he's going to be able to get out on, apparently.
His father even spoke out about how the court denied Nick's appeal and dismissed testimony from a neuropsychologist specializing in autism spectrum disorder, ASD. This doctor had made it clear that Nick's condition made him highly susceptible to manipulation, that Gypsy had controlled his decision-making, and that this neurological difference should have been considered in his trial.
Exuded just wild enthusiasm and gratefulness. Gypsy's demeanor didn't strike me as potentially unusual simply because I knew ahead of time that she had what was described as a developmental delay. I'm used to seeing parents being really resilient. Dee Dee was no different. The interactions between...
His father was devastated, stating that the legal system had completely failed his son by refusing to acknowledge the unique cognitive and social challenges that come with ASD. But none of that mattered. The jury never got to hear that expert testimony. Instead, Nick was sentenced to life in prison without parole, while Gypsy, the mastermind behind it all, walked free after just a few years. While Gypsy was given platforms, interviews, and even a reality show to share her perspective, Nick remained locked away, unable to tell his side of the story to the world. Does that sound like justice? People had already started to accept the reality that Gypsy was free while Nick remained behind bars. But now that Disney is helping her profit off her story, frustration has hit a new level. It's not just about her freedom anymore. It's about the way the media continues to position her as a misunderstood figure rather than someone who played a direct role in a serious crime. Disney has always been seen as a company that upholds strong values, a safe space for children, a brand that families trust. So why would they attach themselves to someone with such a dark, controversial past? A person who, let's not forget, was convicted in the brutal planning of her mother's murder. The decision to stream life after lockup suggests that Disney is willing to overlook its own brand values for the sake of profit and of viewership, raising major ethical concerns. By choosing to stream life after lockup, Disney is sending a very clear message. Gypsy's story is worth glorifying. They are giving her yet another platform while completely ignoring the ethical implications of their decision. It raises a question. Where do they draw the line? At what point does a person's criminal history disqualify them from becoming a media figure? And why does it seem that in Gypsy's case, the rules don't apply? The backlash has been intense. People have called for boycotts, cancelling their Disney Plus subscriptions and voicing their outrage across social media. Many are pointing out that Disney is prioritizing profit over principles, and that by giving Gypsy this level of exposure, they're enabling her behavior rather than holding her accountable. Some argue that this is setting a dangerous precedent, that individuals who have committed serious crimes can simply reshape their narratives through media deals and escape any lasting consequences. The controversy continues to grow, and Disney's reputation is undoubtedly being questioned. After Life After Lockup aired on Lifetime, rumors swirled that they had cancelled any future seasons. People thought, finally, she's facing some consequences.
Before I say this, I'm going to say that this is alleged, but it's alleged by a family member. Lifetime is canceling Gypsy Rose after this season. She wants people to believe that she's saying it's over, she doesn't want to be filmed. Lifetime is canceling her show, not the other way around.
But that relief was short-lived. Even if the show doesn't get a third season, Gypsy still stands to make money from it. She could earn residues every time the show is re-aired, royalties from distribution deals, or even bonuses based on viewership metrics. And now, with Disney Plus streaming the show, those checks are likely to keep coming. She's not just benefiting financially, she's also extending her presence in the public eye and ensuring that her name remains relevant, which in turn opens up more opportunities for interviews, brand deals, and potential future projects. It's frustrating to watch. She's manipulated a man into committing a crime. She used her story for sympathy and now continues to cash in on it while Nick is left to serve a life sentence. Instead of holding her accountable, media companies are actively reinforcing the narrative that she is a reformed figure worthy of attention and financial gain. This isn't just about one show, it's about the continued commodification of true crime, where perpetrators can reshape their public image for profit while the real consequences of their actions are minimized or ignored. Meanwhile, Nick remains behind bars, his story largely untold, his voice unheard. The contrast couldn't be starker. While Gypsy is given platforms to control her narrative, Nick is left out of the conversation entirely, his life reduced to a footnote in her ever-growing media presence. The imbalance here is undeniable, and it raises important questions about the ethics of turning crime into entertainment without considering the broader implications. The biggest question remains, what exactly is Disney trying to accomplish here? Are they attempting to paint Gypsy as some kind of reformed figure, a person who overcame adversity? Because if that's the case, it's a dangerously misleading narrative. Gypsy has never shown real accountability for her role in what happened to Diddy. Instead, she's leveraged it to fame or financial gain, capitalizing on public fascination with her story while sidestepping any meaningful responsibility.
Disney Plus is now streaming Gypsy Rose Blanchard's show. Yes, since 1955, Walt Disney has inspired, informed, and entertained with unparalleled concepts that capture the imagination and bring animations to life. The global brand has also faced numerous controversies over the years. Allegations of perpetuating harmful stereotypes, smexism, and even plagiarism. But when Disney also updated their policies to ensure when guests were caught lying about having a disability were treated as an abuse of the Disability Access Service Program and permanently banned from Walt Disney World and Disneyland Resort. People celebrated this decision. Last November, when Gypsy Rose Blanchard bragged about having the time of her life at Disney Florida without her wheelchair, we pushed back. We were outraged.
And what kind of message does that send? That if you orchestrate a crime and play your cards right, you can still come out on top. The media attention and carefully crafted PR can rewrite even the darkest of the pasts. This raises concerns not only about Gypsy's redemption arc, but about how the entertainment industry handles true crime stories as a whole. Are they normalizing a pattern where individuals who have been involved in horrific acts can later be marked as inspirational figures simply because they serve as compelling characters? The implications of this go beyond Gypsy. It raises critical ethical questions about how the entertainment industry approaches true crime narratives. Are they glamorizing individuals who have committed serious crimes simply because they make for gripping television? And at what point does an individual's past actions disqualify them from becoming a media personality? For a company that claims to be family-friendly, this is a move that feels completely out of touch with their brand. What values are they promoting by giving Gypsy such a high-profile platform? Are they reinforcing the idea that media exposure can absolve a person from their past? And how do they justify this choice when so many people, especially the families of actual crime victims, see it as an insult? Disney's decision to back life after lockup isn't just controversial. It's a reflection of a much larger issue within the media industry where the line between entertainment and ethics is becoming increasingly blurred. The backlash they are facing completely justified. People aren't just frustrated with Gypsy's continued media presence. They are frustrated with an industry that seems to prioritize profit over integrity, turning real-life tragedies into entertainment with little regard for the victims left behind. And if companies like Disney continue down this path, they might find themselves losing more than just credibility. They could lose the trust of the very audience they claim to serve. At the end of the day, the public isn't upset just because Gypsy has a platform. They are upset because she's being rewarded for her actions while Nick is being completely disregarded. People aren't excusing what Nick did, but they are asking for fairness, for his side to be heard, for the justice system to recognize that Gypsy played an equal, if not bigger role in what happened, and for media companies like Disney to stop glorifying her as some kind of misunderstood survivor. What do you think? Does Disney deserve the backlash they are getting, or do you think people are overreacting? Let's talk about it in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe to stay updated on this story. Until next time, take care.